at 3:35, and Councilman Jordan, would you give the blessing, please?
Lord, please help us make all the right decisions with the meetings today and look over the people that all got flooded this weekend. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
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 All right. They're gonna be here at 3:40, 3:45.
David Walkenstick,
Honey.
Don Garvin,
Honey.
Joel England,
Here.
Keith Austin,
Here.
Jack Baker,
Here.
Harley Buzzard, Joe Bird,
Honey.
Tom Crittenden,
Honey.
Frankie Targis, Wanda Hatfield, Rex Jordan,
Here.
Dick Lay,
Here.
Otis Snell, Denise Taylor, David Thornton, Victoria Vasquez,
Honey,
Brian Warner. We have a quorum.
Thanks, Shelley. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes of December 14th, 2015.
so moved.
Move. Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Down to reports. Since we're running behind, please just dispense your reports. And if you guys have something that you guys need to say, it's just, or if we have any questions, we just need to keep it brief.
Question for Janice.
Okay. You guys going to take the hot seat. All right, Councilor
Yes, it
Taylor.
takes two of us again for Diane. Thank you for noticing that. Okay.
Well, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Appreciate you guys. New Year's Eve was good. Christmas was good.
Excellent. Thank you.
Good. We didn't get an invite to y'all's dinner.
Sorry.
Did you guys have a dinner?
We had multiple. I will correct that next year, sir.
All right. All right, Councilor Taylor.
I have a question for Janice Randall.
Dance Randall.
Yeah.
Well, she's last.
She was just throwing it
Does
out.
anybody else have any questions for these pretty ladies?
Thank you.
Say no takers.
Great work.
All right. Great report, ladies. All right. Executive Director's Report, Ron Etheridge. Has anybody got any? All right. Councilman Baker.
Yes. Good afternoon. Well, since Joseph Erb is left, are y'all looking at someone to replace him for the, to head up the bike ride?
We have an administrative meeting tomorrow, and that will be discussed, because we're starting, we have selected our bike ride participants. 7 of the 10 are female, which is the first time it's ever happened. But, and we're gonna get ready for our first meeting with them the 19th. So yes, I mean, that will be something that's going to be discussed tomorrow.
Okay, good. Oh, and I appreciate that. At least one young lady's from Oklahoma City.
Jack, are you wanting to volunteer to lead that one?
Not as a rider. But I just want to make the comment that Joseph, under Dr. Sly, had really put a lot of educational effort into it, particularly this last year, where they had history lessons all the way through the entire ride.
We're gonna continue that.
Good, because I know in the past, I've been told many times that after I left them in the east, at the beginning of the ride, the first 4 or 5 days, that was the end of the hill for the rest of the ride. It was just a bike ride.
No, that will be continued all the way through.
Good, I appreciate Dr. Sly's effort to put that together.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Councilman Buzzard.
Yeah, I had a question. If a student or a young guy is disregarded, are there any benefits for him to attend the police academy? I don't know what the all on their IRS. Is there any financial assistance in this spot?
Police Academy.
Yeah.
I believe that would be through Diane's job. Yeah, and they're a little bit more restricted with their residency than we are, so we'd have to check on that case.
Well, I will have education sometime. Okay, thanks, sir.
Any other questions? Councilman Crittenden.
Thank you. And had a call yesterday, and this young lady had missed all of her deadlines for the grant. Can you tell me, like, right now, is there anything right now that she could apply for it, you know, I'm gonna tell her about that Cherokee first, then she can work 20, I'm gonna tell her about that, but is there just anything right now?
Was she on our scholarship for fall and she
Um,
didn't reapply?
She missed that, she didn't say when she may have, or, but,
If you can give me a name, then I'll look her up after this and see if she was on the program for this past semester.
and then you probably know different avenues as well that she could take. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions for education?
I do need to make a report or I'll be in trouble here. Reba Bruner, Delaware County needs to be proud because she nominated both the school, J School, will be a national recipient in Washington DC on the JOM Award given out February, they're meeting February 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And then Lana Hampton, Grove teacher of Native American history and culture teacher, is a National Teacher of the Year. So I wanted to give that information out. That's it.
Hey, yes, I have a
Yes,
question,
Chief
Mr.
Burt.
Chairman. Did the other tribes discuss about contributing also to that JOM conference? Because we contributed 10,000. Was there any discussion there at the intertribal?
We talked about that. Joe, I'm gonna have to get back with you. Mark's made me aware that we put the money up, but they're supposed to reimburse us.
Yes.
Now, how this thing works, I don't know. I gotta get more familiar with it, but, that's what he's told me, and I went ahead and signed off on the purchase order and everything, but I was told we would be reimbursed for this.
And the chairman of that board is a tribal member, Jackie White. She's been involved in federal programs for many years there at Union High School, and now I think she's on the national board.
Yeah,
But I just wonder if the other tribes ended up like we did.
yeah. You know,
No, they missed
and
the
again, I'll have to
perfect
get back with you.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Ron, with all the budget cuts going on, I know that the state issued, a 3% cut right now among all of our schools. Well, actually, it's all state agencies, and then they're predicting another 6 or 7% in August, when June, July, August, school starts up. There's other ways that the tribe can offset or help out a lot of these schools with their budget crisis. Gary's not here, but impact aid. If the tribe were to build houses inside of a school district, it would increase your impact aid dollars, $3,000 per kid. We have resources available to help out those school districts, but we really need to think really hard on every way we can help them out. Because we don't have the dollars ourselves just to give to them, but we can help them out in other ways. We just need to think outside the box.
Right.
So if you would, just maybe get your team together and say, this is what's going on in public school America. Because I know Dr. Morton, with the car tag monies, we distributed, I forget how much money it was, but it's professional development, working with schools with the A through F. How's that working out? Is that a good program? Have you guys been getting feedback on that, or?
We're looking at redesigning some of the phases of that, maybe
Okay.
creating some mini grant type projects for them to apply for.
That'd be really
STEM
good,
areas or reading areas.
like it used to be, because we used to give those grants, right?
Yeah, well, before they were more cultural and language related. This
Okay.
time we're shifting the focus more to STEM,
Okay,
STEM and
instructional.
reading type areas.
How much are these grants? How much are we
Kind
talking
of
about?
working those out still, kind of setting up the policies of what that might look like.
Was like 10 or 15,000?
The cultural grants were up to 25,000.
25,000. Yeah, the total was 300,000 total. Budget was. I think that'd be good. A lot of superintendents, they know what the A through F system is, and they really don't need any assistance from us on how to be an A through F. I mean, it's a matter of turning documents in and your ADM and testing and all that stuff. So, interesting. So, you guys been meeting with the BIA today? What's their status? Are they gonna be here soon, Kenan?
They're en route, yeah.
They're en route. Okay. Anybody have any questions for Ron Etheridge?
I have a comment.
Yes.
Language Department, Durban Feeling is getting ready to start some language classes in Pryor at the RSU campus next week, and I am excited to have that up in my area.
Good.
So,
Good.
appreciate you loaning me to us for a while.
I have tried to get out and will continue to get out and meet the superintendents in the respective counties. We got out last week and was up in Mays County and also in some of Delaware that I missed the previous time, and intend to go way north this next time I go out. And so, you know, they're happy to see us because of funding being like it is, and they know we help. You know, we help in two big ways with the MVT money and the JOM. We're consistent with that. And with the additional money that you're talking about, David, there, I just think we've got to devise a way that's fair, you know, for all, and allow anyone that wants an opportunity to, you know, go ahead and do the work required to pursue some of that. I think we've got to be fair there.
You know, Senator Ford up in Bartlesville area has got legislation on the table to close or consolidate schools with students enrollments 500 or less. And a lot of you guys have those schools in your districts, and we all know that when a school dies, the community dies. It goes along with it. So these schools really thrive in our communities, and I know our Secretary of State's not here, but we need to get some kind of lobbying effort to propose that we're, and of course, I don't know how the body feels towards this legislation. I would assume you guys are in favor of keeping them open and not consolidating. But anyways, just to inform you guys on that piece of legislation. Well, does anybody have any other questions for Mr. Etheridge? All right, great report. Miss Janice Randall from Cherokee Foundation. Yeah,
This is an additional page to my report with the correct numbers on it. There was something missing.
I think Councilwoman Taylor had a question for you, Dan.
My questions were a brief explanation on these two programs, Testing with Success and University of Arkansas College Access Initiative.
Okay. Those are both ACT prep classes.
Okay, enough said. I just had no idea what they were.
In this
So-
paper, if you look, in 2014, which was the first year I was the director, we served 265 students. This year, we served over 1,100 in just that one program. And I know some of you think that your districts aren't on there, but I have been to, when Mark Vance has a JOM meeting, he has invited me. I've talked to all the Indian Ed programs. I've gone to superintendent's meetings. I've talked with some of you, and that's why I put my card at the bottom of that, because if you feel like there's a school in your district that wants to do some of our programs, whether it's junior achievement or whether it's the ACT prep, just have them give me a call. I'll come visit them. I'll talk with them. But for instance, Adair County, they did not want to do the ACT because they have Gear Up or Upward Bound. So if some of the schools have that, then they're using that for ACT.
and then College Prep Institute, I assume you're gonna do that again this summer?
Yes, we are.
Where's it gonna be?
It's gonna be at Claremore.
Roger State?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It's gonna be July 17th through the 22nd. And we are going to do the ACT prep in June at Northeastern again.
And the applications for CCPI, are they open along with the scholarships, or will they open at another time?
They'll open probably in April. That's, the end of April's our goal, 1st of May to award the scholarships. The scholarships are still open till January 31st. There is one just for Adair County, and I noticed that no one has applied. The jig's still up, so there you go.
What was that?
There's a Jigs Phillips Memorial Scholarship.
I like
It's $500 a semester. You must, the requirement is you must be from Adair County.
Hey,
So surely some of your constituents would qualify.
call you.
Yes. Just go to CherokeeNationFoundation.org and scholarships and July 31st, so.
January.
And also, I am not on the Cherokee .org scholarship. If you notice, mine's CherokeeNationFoundation.org. But anyway, so if I haven't attended your community meetings, it's because I haven't known about them. So if you would like, I'm gonna get Ed Crittenden to get me on that. So Kane's been trying to take care of me, but.
Councilman Warner?
A few.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Janice. Janice and two of her staff came down. We had a superintendent's meeting last week, and Sequoia County Superintendents also had Max Tanner, who's now up at Oologah, who used to be at Central. If you're, like she said, all of these, if you look at the numbers, 265 to 1140, she's doing something good, and she's easy to access, and her people come down and they work really hard. These scholarships, everybody's always calling me saying, Mr. Warner, what else can I do besides what higher ed offers? This is one of the things that we can look at. And I know that higher ed and them are working. I'd just like to see us, if we can start putting, I know there's data banks out there and everything, but something that we could do that are scholarships for Native Americans that are offered other places. I've been directing students to other spots and
We
different.
try to look that up and
Right.
keep it on.
If they'll call over there, her girls will help with whatever questions, as prospective student, current student, anything. And when you look at these these Cherokee Nation Foundation scholarship, one of the few that I know I've noticed that Ms. Hatfield had put on there that these, some at-large people can qualify for these. So,
That's the only one they qualify for. And Mr. Baker, like last year and this
Yeah.
year, and I know Ms. Hatfield will be participating next year, and, but that's all they have. And then the OSU and the TU are big scholarships, but the Kenneth Comer Scholarship, that's for someone that's new this year, and that is for someone that wants to go into counseling, so it could be, and the Cherokee Nation Businesses is juniors and seniors in college that want to come back and go into the business world. And supposedly, or hopefully, Cherokee Nation businesses can pick from the best and the brightest. And that's really why we're concentrating on raising their ACT scores and having the students put in the effort.
Councilman Crittenden?
So, ma'am, when I get these calls about the different avenues,
Just have them call the office.
there you go.
Our first-time college graduates themselves, and so they had to do it on their own. So they tell them where to look, or if they are in Cherokee County and want to come down to the office, we have a desk set up and we'll walk them through and search,
All right. Thank
or
you.
do it on the phone.
And on the Phillips, is there a number of how many there are?
One.
One. Okay.
But no one's applied, their chances
Apply.
are good.
Apply. I can remember
No one's
that.
applied, but we're
All
giving
right.
one.
Apply by when?
January 31st.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
I have a comment, Mr. Chairman.
Chief Burke?
Some time ago, we looked at the standards, the criteria to qualify. for your scholarship? How much of increase have we seen since we made that change?
Well, not only on the scholarships, they have to have a 3-point, but on their ACT scores, that's what has really, I mean, we had a perfect score from Sequoia County, 36 out of 36. We had.
Where I'm from.
Muldrow. It was from Muldrow too.
That's where I graduated. You're
It was
done
yours,
yet?
wasn't it? Smart people down
He was
there.
on the county line.
But
Yeah.
those,
Yeah.
just like Brian said, we went to the superintendent's meeting and there was the senator was there and he was talking about the schools that are operating on a 2009 and starting the next school year. There's cuts right now, but starting in July, it's something like $1.2 million and they're gonna be looking for every avenue. And so they were just so excited to know about our junior achievement programs because that touches the high school in every point of their economics class and what they're tested on, and also the BizTown. So,
Now, did it increase the number since we changed the criteria?
yes,
Yeah.
went way up.
Okay, then we're gonna be able to handle it budget-wise though, right?
Well, I hope we get so many that we can't. I mean, so many participants, but
Then we may have changed criteria again.
no, we'll raise the budget because we're gonna be bringing in, these kids are gonna give back. They're gonna grow up and get jobs and they're gonna know that Cherokee Nation helped them.
It reminds me of a time back when I first on the council, they wanted to drop the criteria on the ACT to get admitted to Northeastern, when they raised from like, I think it's like 18. Some of the tribal members said, well, why are they raising the criteria to get admitted? And we looked at each other on the education committee, we said, raise it. Our students will qualify. I mean, don't be dropping our standards, let's keep raising our standards. So anyway, that was the point I was trying to make, but you're doing a good job, Janice.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Great job.
It's Councilman Buzzer.
Janice, I look at this report from 2014 and 15,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm from Delaware County. I'd like to know how some of these schools get 120 visits. How are you getting into those school systems? Because I've constantly tried to get this into the J and Grove system, and they're not on it. So who do you contact and how do you?
We're going to
go
Jay
about it?
tomorrow.
Who are you going to contact?
We met with the counselor last week
Is that the,
at the high school, and we're going back tomorrow. And,
is this how you got the numbers in? Is this how you do it, or does it work different in other schools?
no, it's,
You generally go to the counselor, is what I'm asking.
no, I try to go, like I said, to the superintendents.
Okay.
And talk with them first. And then they usually, like, depending on if it's ACT or if it's the junior achievement, they'll either send me to a counselor for ACT,
Okay.
they'll send me to a principal. And then like, Victoria was wanting me to go to Bonita. I've talked to the superintendent, the principal, and 2 counselors, and nobody has said they want to do it or even acted interested. And she was really wanting that for her area.
Well, that's what it was me, and I talked to the school board up there, and they're really wanting it up there. And I'm just wondering.
We're
who
ready to
your-
do it.
Who your first contact is. Superintendent is what I thought.
Right, right. But I will send more information tomorrow
Okay.
and give it to, do you think the principal would be? Do you know, personally know?
You know what I would recommend in Delaware County, you send it to the school board too.
Okay.
They're
Well,
gonna
you
need-
take my card right there, and if you all want to talk about it, then we're prepared to do it. We have a,
Yeah, if you would, send it to the school, get the board of education presidents or whoever, they need to see it, because I have discussed this, I don't know how many times, with the school board and superintendent, but the superintendent said, I don't think it goes anyplace. So, anyway, I'm just wondering who you contact first of all.
I try to, start at the top. Work my way down.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good report, Janice.
Thank you.
Leroy Quall, Sequoia Schools.
I hope everyone had a good holiday. It's good to be back here. First of all, I want to apologize for such a short report. The time that I reported last time, we had 5 days of school until my next report was due. Okay? Felt like I needed to turn something in, but I have some other things here that I'll enlighten you with. Total number of students we had returning from the break was 367. That's down a little bit. We had 13 graduate at midterm, and that's the highest number I know of, and I think our block scheduling probably has a lot to do with that. We have 77 students in the dorms. We have 43 that's concurrently enrolled. To me, that's an incredible number for us. To give you an idea, 4 years ago, there were 4. We also have 2 staff members that are national board certified, our principal being one, an academic counselor, Ms. Craig, being another. We also have 2 more teachers that are progressing toward their national certification and then have passed phase 1. And we have some guests from the BIE here today, and they could tell you that within the BIE, we're trying to encourage more teachers to become national board certified. So this is kind of where we're starting. I'm proud of those numbers. Dr. Russell came in today. His plane was delayed, and he didn't land till afternoon. He could have easily have stayed home. But you guys are going to meet with him in just a minute. He's the national director of the Bureau of Indian Education. I don't know if we've ever had the national director here or at Sequoia School, but we just got through doing some tours, and our other gentleman is Mr. Tony Dearman. Many of you know he's a deputy director, but I'm not going to try to steal their thunder. I've told them some of the things that I've just reported to you on, and I'm just happy to be here and back into the routine again. And if you've got any questions about anything, I'd be happy to try to answer those.
Dr. Russell, it's an honor to have you here. I think this may be the first time that we've had somebody at that level come and visit our area here. And the gentleman to your left looks very familiar. So we're honored. So you come to the front here, you can maybe just give us a little narrative of what you've experienced since you've been here. First, let's give them an applause. This is
Well, first of all, it is my honor to be here. My deputy is from here, and when I told her I was coming here, she goes, "Oh, good, you're going to God's country."
That's right.
And I thought she meant because I'm a Navajo from Arizona that I was heading back home, but this is very, I mean, I've been here only a little bit of time, and I first make the comment that I commit to coming back in the very near future to actually spend the time to look at your school, because there's a lot for me to learn from that you all are doing. And I'm amazed. I used to come here when I was very small with my dad. We had a cabin up in northern Minnesota, and he was on President Johnson's War on Poverty Task Force, and he was one of the chairmen, him and Forrest Gerard, and we would spend our summers going across Indian country holding hearings, and I was a little kid, and I remember coming through here many times. So this is the first time since then, and I'm very, very honored to be here. I walked into your immersion school today, and it makes my heart just really pump hard. At the school that I was at Rough Rock Demonstration School on Navajo, we had an immersion program also. And to hear young people come in, little ones, and they're talking the language. And it felt good, though, because when I would go, I'm not fluent, so when I would go into the classrooms of the immersion school, and Tony was talking about this too, because earlier when he was here, I was always afraid that one of the kids would turn to me and ask me something, and I wouldn't know, and I'd look like I didn't know what to do. I felt good here because I knew I'm not supposed to know Cherokee, so I was okay with that, you know. But it was just to see that happening and the smiles on their faces, and the songs that they sang, you know, and the joy that you could just see in their faces as they shared their language with me, was something that was very powerful and very strong for me. And, you know, listening to you just talk about not lowering the standards, we need to raise our expectations, is something that I truly believe. And I know some of you are former educators around this table, and you understand that that is what we need to do. And for too long, BIE has been lowering the standard. For too long, we have allowed our kids to fail because we don't expect more of them. We don't expect them to succeed. And that time has passed. You know, we have, you know, Tony Dearman here, who I just recently selected as the Associate Deputy Director for Bureau-Operated Schools. And every place we went, he got the response, I think I know you. I think I know you. And sometimes you get worried when it comes from BIE because they think it's gonna be a negative. But in this case, it was truly a positive. And I'm going to stop there and let Tony speak a little bit, because I'd like to then come back and talk about what the BIE is trying to do now. And I think we're doing with the education here on Cherokee, and what we can learn as we move forward to become a better Bureau of Indian Education.
First of all, I want to thank you for the invitation. It's an honor to be here. Many of you know I started my education career at Sequoia, so it's good to be back. Seen a lot of great things today, really did. I mean, it's come a long ways, and there's a lot of things that are going on up there that Dr. Russell and I were already talking about getting some publicity out. And so that's going to be something that we discuss once we leave here. But, you know, just being able to, if you haven't been up there, I would encourage you to go up there and visit with the kids. I mean, it was really enlightening having the kids come in and talk about their plans. And I can remember a time when we first started that the students that we accepted at Sequoia, sometimes that was their last leg. And, you know, it's come a long ways. It really has. There's a lot of them that are going on into college, and they're doing great things, really, really great things. But, you know, I'll tell you my experience real quick in education. I've always considered myself as a change agent. And when I got to hear Dr. Russell talk about the changes in the BIE, that we're going to start flipping the way that we do business, and we're going to start servicing our schools and our tribes. And the first thing that we really need to do is go out and get tribal input. Try to find out what the tribal needs are, what the school needs, and let's start servicing them. I felt like this is a great opportunity, and I really feel like I wanted to be a part of that. So fortunately, I've been selected in the position. I've been in this position since November the 1st, and extremely busy, but every day you get up and you're motivated and you're still enthusiastic, and I believe in the leadership that's in place, and I think some great things are already come.
Well, Tony, we're really proud of you. Talking about a man with character and a lot of integrity, and has a passion for Indian people. You hired a good hand, a top shelf Cherokee, and so we appreciate that. I'm glad that you guys took the time out of your schedule to come and visit our facility, because you guys have seen some really good things that's went on there, and you guys have met some great kids with aspirations. And you know, I'm alumni of Sequoia, and you know, it was big if a kid went to a local junior college, and now we're producing kids going to Harvard and Dartmouth and New York City. And it's inspirational to see what we're doing up there, and so I'm glad that you guys are getting a glimpse of that.
You know, there's one thing that we've discussed in working with tribes. A lot of tribes are asking for information from tribes that are successful in running programs, and you know, we really feel like Cherokee Nation could be one of the tribes that some of the tribes could learn from, as well as others. And in an earlier meeting today, we talked about, you know, tribes learning from tribes, and I think there's a great benefit to that if we can start bringing people to the table, and people that are willing to share great best practices and great ideas.
You know, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Dearman, we have kept up with you since you were in grade school. I've known you that long, and you have a good testimony to the rest of the Indian world, in that under the circumstances you were able to thrive and make sacrifices, and yet even willing to make the sacrifice to move away from your home. That's something that some of our students, I don't know if they're willing to do that, but you have. I know, Mr. Russell, you've had to do the same thing. And we here at Cherokee Nation, we take education very, very serious. I mean, that is the foundation of who we are. We have given more scholarships this year than last year than we ever had before. And we're going to continue to do that. So education is our foundation of who we are. We had the first higher ed west of Mississippi Seminary Hall. We want to continue to do that. So I know you saw some things today. We still have an enormous amount of work to do. We showed you some good things that are going on, but yet we still have a lot of deficit out there in some of our buildings and some of our goals we have not met yet. And we're really just now getting started. And this is a very dedicated council, and we'd like to look at maybe setting some type of precedent with some type of joint venture, if you hadn't already discussed that with our leadership. So we take it very seriously when we talk about the education of our youth here.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker and Chairman and members of the council. I think one of the things that we really want to look at as we move forward is partly what Tony is talking about, is how do we build capacity at the tribal level across our entire spectrum, from Maine to Florida, Seattle to California, Oklahoma, all states and all tribes. We service 64 tribes. We have 183 schools within that system. But at the same time, an area that has a big impact is JOM also. And one of the things that we're doing now is we created a JOM center in Oklahoma City that'll service our entire system. But at the same time, hand in hand with that, one of the challenges that we heard in Indian country, across this country, was that tribes and school districts weren't talking to each other the way they should in terms of what is the role of JOM, what is the goal that tribes have for JOM. And we at the federal level have an opportunity to bring those people together and say, let's have some common metrics, let's have some common goals that we can try to move towards, how we can move forward. And that's something that I think not just the schools like Sequoia, to schools like Riverside, but also the public schools, where we don't have direct operational oversight, but we do have the federal influence that can bring tribes and school districts together. And we're working on that path too. We have the National JOM Conference coming up in about a month, and I'm going to be speaking there. And that's a lot of what I'm going to be saying, is how we can try to bring the voices of the tribes to the table in JOM, because they have some real goals and ideas. And I think for the most part, they've been shut out across the system, not just here, but in other places. So we want to try to, where we can, help give voice to tribes and tribal goals in achieving the type of education that you want for your kids. We're there to be an assistance, not directly pushing and involved. And our whole reform effort is really moving away from a direct control of education to more of a school improvement support system. So tribes are involved, they're at the table, school districts are at the table, our BIE is at the table. All the people that need to be at the table are at the table. That's what we're trying to do, knowing that good ideas come from everybody. They certainly don't come from BIE. Look at our history. So we need to look at where those good ideas are and use them, listen to them, and that's really the cornerstone of our reform effort. As Tony mentioned, is how do we listen to tribes? How do we listen to educators like your superintendent? What are they doing? We saw the robotics class, and those kids were, they're tinkering, they're playing, they're thinking, they're creating. And a lot of times in education, we just worry about reading, writing. We don't think about creativity, but in that sense, you had the creativity of science, and you could see the kids were engaged and happy. And we need to find ways to bring that into, and I think that's some of the things that, as Tony mentioned, we could learn from what you're doing here. And I'm really excited, and I know you have a long schedule, and I'll stop there, but I am committed to coming back here. I want to again thank you for the invitation to be here.
Where is the JOF conference? Where would we find out about
It's
that?
in Washington DC, and I believe it's the,
February 1st through the 4th.
yeah.
Are you located in Washington DC?
Yeah, our offices are at the Department of Interior, 1849 C Street. My office overlooks whenever the president leaves, he goes right underneath.
Oh, wow.
So it's loud sometimes.
Any other questions? Steve? Yes, Councilman Thornton?
Really not a question. I'm really happy to see y'all up here today. Russell, Dearman. I wanted to let you know a little more about our language, and that's what I'm great to see that come in. But our emergency school has done a real great job. They're probably the top in the nation. They've went to other tribes and worked with them already. And I think a lot of them. But the Cherokee Nation language, we founded a new system that we're trying out this year, and we put additional funding into that system to cover the surrounding areas and communities. And we've got a good program, I think, going there very well. Our JOM teachers in our surrounding communities, they get together a team and have a language bowl up here every year. And, they fight and fuss in there to who's going to be first, who's going to win. But I'm so proud to announce that Vian School won that's my hometown, won the language bowl this year. And I'm more proud to say that my granddaughter was on that team. But, I'm glad to see the JOM teachers taking control of that. And there's a lot of them that teach it in the school. And I really appreciate you saying something about the language, because that's one of my main goals, is to help our people come back and introduce the language in addition to our schools and our children. And I heard a little deal when I was at the conference the other day on language. And they were talking about getting out and spending their fundings, some of them fundings, to not so much as to teach the student, but to teach the student's parents. And I thought that would be a great goal that anyone could set. I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you.
Councilman Creighton?
Thank you guys for coming today. It's an honor. Tony Dearman, is that the Cave Springs, Tony?
It is the Cave Springs, Tony.
Hey, that's very encouraging. I teach at Greasy, taught at Peavine for a lot of years, and Bell. Been there, man. That's encouraging. Your position made a good choice. And thank you guys for coming.
All right, good report, guys. Appreciate you
you.
guys,
Thank you.
good input.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to commend Chairman Walkenstick for initiating these guys to come here with the assistance of Mr. Leroy Qualls. I mean, you guys did a heck of a job getting these guys down here, because it's not easy getting people at your level here to a tribe. So we appreciate you coming down, Mr. Qualls and Chairman. Good job.
Thank you, appreciate you, guys. Down to old business, none pending, new business, any announcements? Next meeting is scheduled Tuesday, February 16th. Here, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Move second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Adjourn.